Welcome in, Pirate fans, to the 2017 football podcast of Woodward football. First week that we will have Coach Rob Woodward. Coach, how's it going this season so far?
It's been outstanding. Gene, we've had another great year of the off-season in the weight room. We've had outstanding numbers all year. We had kids working, improving. We continually improved in our weights category, the number of guys that we had achieving certain goals in both lifting and running, footwork, speed, and agility. Those are numbers I like to see. How many of those guys do we have that are achieving those goals that we want? We increased those numbers this year again, consistently now for 4 years and 5 years now. 2012, we made a change in the weight room and have been progressively getting better and better each and every year. And that's transitioned now on the field to a lot of big, strong, fast athletes. Maybe the biggest, strongest and fastest team that we've had overall. Numbers are great. We're at 84 again, 83, 84, and the kids' attitudes have been outstanding. I was a little worried, as I always am, with the senior group. What's their leadership going to be? How are they going to transition? And I got to say, this group has been outstanding. I've said it a number of times throughout our camp and throughout our practices. One of the best camps, one of the best practices. I said that repeatedly different days throughout the camp. Coaches have done a great job of learning who the players are and what their attributes are, what can help make them successful. And I've been very pleased here with the start of things as we've gotten into the month of August.
Last year you lost a heartbreaker to Shocked up in Athens, and you've had time to reflect since that game until now. Regional games are always tough, and when you get that deep in the playoffs. What was some of the things that you took from that game that possibly that you can learn from and say, hey, this is what we might want to look forward to in the future?
Well, you just got to have a mentality of getting to that point. It takes a real mindset to get a group of young men to go 13 weeks, and then you add 2 weeks prior to that plus 2 weeks. You're really sitting at about week 17 of football, having pads on, and you got to really instill that mindset early. And I think I'm always working and striving to try to get better at how I do that as a coach. I liked where we were last year at the end of the season in that week 13. I'd made some changes to our weight room, to our practice schedule, to the different things that we had done. I liked where we were sitting at that point. You look back at that game, and obviously we lost that game in some fundamental areas. That's something as a coach that I've really tried to go back and stress in our early practices, and will continue to maintain throughout the season, is the fundamentals. You get complicated within different things you try to do to really put your athletes in positions to be successful and hopefully have the upper hand when you run up against an opponent that has athletes that equals out or balances out to you, and that's what you see when you get in the playoffs. But you can't lose track of the fundamentals. And, I felt like we did that in some areas, taking care of the football, blocking, tackling. We had some breakdowns at times, and, of course, that led to us not coming out victorious in that game. So we've got to really stress those things, but, again, still keep ingraining that mentality of how to get to a week 13. But take 1 week at a time. But if you're not thinking about weeks 13, 14, 15, well, you're not going to be there, because it doesn't just happen by chance. A lot of things got to fall your way when you get down to those final weeks, but to get there, you got to really set your players, set your community, set your school administration, and all that up for the thoughts and the plans to be there. And our coaching staff is doing a great job of that as we build into this season.
Well, the one thing you guys have tried to do, I think, in preparing for the future is try to beef up your schedule. Talk about the scheduling process for the future of the Pirates.
Yeah, schedules have to be set up be or how good the other teams are going to be. You look back on the last 2 seasons, Pirates have been undefeated, which is outstanding. I'm extremely pleased with that. But I also want to make sure that we are getting challenged early on as much as possible and finding ways to overcome those challenges, improve from those challenges. Teaching high school men how to deal with the challenges of going in the locker room at halftime down 7 or down 10. And those are situations that we haven't typically faced in the last 2 seasons. So as a coach, I'm trying to evaluate how can I pull together a schedule and get teams on the schedule. First and foremost, I don't want to travel. I want to try to keep fan base close. Our kids, their schedules are stretched as it is. I want to keep everybody to where they can really get the community out and support our games. That's one of the biggest things that helps us. But you're going to run into situations where that's not able to happen. And we were able to find a week 3 opponent in Heath High School. It's about a 2.5-hour drive, 2 hours and 15 minutes, up in Newark, Ohio, or Heath, Ohio, just outside of Newark off of 70. So we're going to have to go up to Columbus and over east a little bit on 70. But they were 10-0 last year. Had a great season. Won a big final season game against Johnstown Monroe. It was a great program. It was actually in our region this year, and they dropped down from Division 4. Heath has also dropped into our region now, Division 4. Prior to this season, they were about a 500 team, a little bit over. They got a new head coach, so it's going to be interesting to see. But from what I can tell, great community support, and they really value and respect the game of football. So I like that. And an opponent, we'll be scheduling them 2 years. We're going up there first and then back here. Also a week 4 opponent, which we had to set up last year. Because, again, you got to lock those in early or you miss opportunities to play. We picked up Columbus Bishop Watterson, for a 2-year contract. Watterson has a large senior class, I know. They just had a coaching change as well, so they got a new head coach. Ought to have a large number of seniors. We'll be playing them at home this year first, and then next year we'll go up there. And then 2019, week 2 spot, Brad Birchfield, the head coach at Bishop Hartley, contacted me this past spring. He was reflecting on the game that we had at Chillicothe back in the regional final and loved the way our team plays and really thought that, be a great matchup between the two of us, and I agreed with him. I love the challenge that it brings. Bishop Hartley is 2-time defending state champ in Division 4. They have outstanding athletes and a large number of kids. We'll be going up there in 2019 and then back here at home after that. And they've got a great venue and a great place to play. And I think it'll be the caliber of football that we need to help us improve, to take another step. And in order to challenge our kids and get their mindsets right, we got to put opponents that can do that for us. And there is some travel in there with that, but it's getting harder and harder to find teams to play and try to challenge you in the way that can make your team improve. And I want to compete in the 15-game season. I know that everybody does want to be undefeated. I'd love to be undefeated, but the challenges that it can bring to us when we suffer some adversity is what I want to put our kids exposed to, so it's not week 12 or week 13 the first time that happens.
You have a week to prepare this week for your Jamboree game, and it's a very good way to simulate a regular season game. On these Jamboree games, do you guys prepare as if you're taking on this opponent like you would, say, your first week or second week opponent, or is this just some more time that you want to get in as much as you can before the regular season starts?
Yeah, we try to treat this as game-like as possible as we prepare for Russell Red Devils is who we're going to be competing against this week. We try to go ahead and ingrain with the kids how it's going to work after school, what the after-school practice is going to be like, how we're going to evaluate, install a scouting report, evaluate that, look at what we need to do, and we'll practice that throughout throughout the week and try to go in and have a bit of a game plan set up for down and distance situations, goal line situations. Special teams is something that we go ahead and hold off on in terms of contact with that. We'll just spot the ball and place it where it is, risk any unforeseen injuries that need to take place. But it's as game-like as possible as we can keep it and challenge our kids. And like you said, it's a great way to set up for that week one.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you letting us talk to you this opening, and it's hard to believe that we're here again. We'll talk to you next week. Any final thoughts before we get off?
No. Excited for, again, the group of seniors that we have. They've had an outstanding career thus far, and I'm ready for them to take their role as a leadership, because as I tell them all the time, nobody really remembers you as that 15 or 16. They remember those seniors. So this is the 2017 seniors, and we got, again, a great group of guys that I'm really excited for what they can bring, and the younger guys listening and following their lead and going through this season, and excited for it to kick off and ready to go. Well,
that's Coach Rob Woodward with the Williamsburg Pirate football team, and we will be back Friday night to host the Jamboree game, BurgFan.com.